Yeah, you have a son in heaven, correct?
I do, yes.
Let's talk to him if that's okay. That's my
Please.
dad. I'm gonna put an exclamation point. Why is there a female to your right?
A female to my right. My wife is next door, right next door.
Yeah, he says there's a female important to me to your right. Does that make sense?
That's his mom.
Shut up.
I'm right here hiding.
Shut up.
I'm literally right down here to the right on the floor.
That's incredible.
There is an important female to me. Okay, wait, there's a female important to me to Dad's right. Well, you're welcome to sit in, girl. Turn around, get in here. Oh my God, I love it. And I love that we're hiding her. So yeah, he says, I see you both. Let's talk about him. Now he's telling me my passing was sudden and unexpected. Do you understand that?
Oh yeah.
Sudden and unexpected. You're gonna hear me pause while I'm writing. He's showing me more, so we're a good team actually. And unexpected. Now he's telling me he spoke to you not long before he passed as well. So did he reach out actually not long before he passed?
Well, we had talked maybe the day or two before. He was ecstatic. He was on a trip.
Yeah, he said, I spoke to you. I reached out to you. He's telling me. Does that make sense? So he reached out to you?
Yes.
Was he a distance away though?
Yes, he was down in New Zealand.
When he spoke to you last, he was already there, correct? Because he's making me feel like when we spoke, I was a distance away.
Yes.
We spoke. Was it not a regular video call?
No, I think we were just talking by phone.
Just a detail, but he's saying not a video call because I was like, was it like this? And he's like, no, not a regular video call, but we spoke, right? Away. Yeah. He's good at this connecting thing, huh? He's saying not a video call. Okay. But Dad, he spoke to you. Did he not speak to Mom on that call, really?
I thought he might have. I don't remember if he talked to Sarah or not.
No, I mean, I think he did talk to both of us.
He did. He got us both.
Okay. Because he says, I spoke to Dad on that call, but not as much to Mom is what I'm seeing.
It's possible.
Okay.
We both work from home, so it just depends on like where we are and what he's.
And Mom, you're not chopped liver, just so we're clear. Like he loves you a muchness, so that well, as much. Okay. Now he's making me feel like, okay, were they traveling through New Zealand? Like I feel like I'm traveling. So he says I was traveling.
Correct.
But were they doing some like backpacking as well? Because he's making me feel like there was a hike or something we were doing. Does that make sense?
Yes, they were camping through New Zealand, surfing, multiple spots.
Yeah, I wonder if they were having a hike for some of those spots because he's showing me there was a hike or two that we were doing also. Does that make sense?
For sure.
Two that we were doing. What's with the cool reef? So was there a cool reef area there?
All over the place. They were in the middle of it. Yes.
Okay, you'll know, but I'm geographically challenged. But you showed me cool reef where we were.
Yes.
We were. Okay. Like I feel like it's beautiful and it's small traveled. He's telling me. So I actually feel like were they surfing places that was low traffic, so to speak.
Oh yeah, they were very rural.
Remote, like we were hitting remote areas. Like okay.
Very.
Hitting. You'll know his details, right? Remote areas. He's like badass.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and he's doing this. Like, yeah, okay. I don't know. What do you call that? Hang loose?
Hang loose.
Hang loose.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Yeah, I can't spell that. So we're going to go with hang loose. Sorry.
Okay. That works.
I'm just going to keep it real. Okay, but he's hang loose sign. Okay, now he's making me feel like there's an impact for this. So was there an impact in his passing?
Massive.
I literally, not to laugh, but I literally feel like my last words were, oh, fuck.
Yeah, probably.
I love him so much for that. I do hope that someday those are my last words as well in this world because it just means I'm living right? But he said there was an impact in my passing. He says it was an oh, fuck moment. It's not my fault, he's telling me. So was there an accident?
Yes, somebody,
Came at him.
yes,
Yeah, because he says it wasn't my fault.
it wasn't at all his fault.
Okay. But I don't feel like, was he not belted correctly though?
He was. They were both belted. That's what saved their lives.
Not his.
No, oh, well, yeah, that's true.
Listen, your
That's
son
what
is
saved his
born
girlfriend's
on
life.
me.
They
I
were
love
both belted.
But he's telling me the belt's not correctly. So I wonder if it's almost like under his arm or something along those lines. But
I don't know.
belt, not correctly. Now he's telling me I feel like his side like it's head on, correct? But was it hitting the driver's side worse? Because I feel like it hit the driver's side worse. Just details, right? But he says head on hit.
Right at his corner.
Driver's side.
Correct.
In the driver's side. Because there's two of us, correct?
Correct. His girlfriend.
Two of us. Okay, but he's telling me the driver was okay.
She did live. Yeah, I think they were on drugs or drinking or something. We haven't been able to prove that yet.
Yeah, he says the driver was okay. So I do feel like the driver lived, right? And I feel like this is a pretty big impact. That's actually a shock for me, but because this is pretty massive.
Yeah.
She flew from the car.
Huh?
The person who hit him, the lady who was driving, was thrown from the vehicle but survived.
That might be why I'm seeing not belted or something along those lines. So that might be the no seatbelt thing. So I just may have interpreted as him, just so you know. Okay.
Got it.
Belted for one. Okay. For one. He says the driver was okay. There's a female with him, correct?
Yes, his girlfriend.
With me. And he's made me feel like he is beginning to pass instantly. He's telling me. So I feel like I'm passing instantly. And I can tell you in the millisecond that I'm saying, oh, fuck, I already know this is my graduation day in spirit. Fuck this. I'm out. I'm going to go wrap around my girlfriend in spirit and make sure she lives is how I'm getting that. So I do feel like he took that opportunity to protect her from letting it be her graduation day because it wasn't her time. So I do feel like as far as like finishing that impact, all that shit, fuck that. He's out. You know what I mean? So sorry, I'm cussing. But
No, that's perfect.
yeah, he says, I left my body to protect her. Not that she didn't get injured, son, but I do feel like she's okay because he made sure of it. Now, he's telling me you were told fairly quickly, actually. So for this being a distance away, I actually feel like you did get notified in a decent time frame.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like 12 hours.
Well,
For me, I don't think that's, no, he makes me feel like it's less. Was it less?
It might have been a little less. I think it took them all night to find us because they were both unconscious.
Yeah. So as soon like I do feel like they were working diligently to try to get you. He's telling me you were told fairly quickly for this being as far as it is, for them being adults, whatever it is, right?
For sure. No, I mean everybody did the right thing, did the best they could. It was just too big.
Were they trying to put him on a vent?
Oh yeah.
He says they put me on a vent, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, they did. They did multiple surgeries, both with his gut and his face and head. But I think the head injury was too.
He was already in heaven. I can tell you right now. He was like, I'm not going back in that. That's not going to be any fun. You know what I mean? So like, he's showing me I'm already in heaven. He's like, they had me on a vent. He's like, I didn't even go back in my body.
Yep.
Now he says you were coming. So were you actually going to try to come there?
We had talked about it. And then we were going to go down there.
Yeah, I feel like there was no time, he's telling me. So I don't feel like there was a time frame. He says you were coming, but there was no time.
Yeah, we bought $9,000 worth of plane tickets. And then by the time we had him, he was gone.
Because I don't feel like you went. Does that make sense? So you didn't
We
go.
didn't go.
Listen,
No.
that's okay. Just another fact that Farrah wouldn't know. But he says you were coming. And he says, but then there was no time. And he says, so you didn't come.
Right.
He says, I was already with you.
Well, I wish I felt that more. I'd like to know how to do that better.
Have you read my third book?
No.
Um,
I've never done this before.
you've never had a reading before?
No.
Shut up. How did you find me? Can I ask?
I haven't. He's listening.
My wife and daughter have both.
With me, not with me though, huh?
No, but I
with
want to
others.
with you.
Listen, bitch, your son worked overtime to get me to him. I can tell you that right now, because I work well with the dads, if you can't tell. Like,
No, it's perfect. That's why I'm sitting in the background, because this is his.
that's okay. And your son knows that too, right? But yes, he says, I was already with you from heaven, Dad. I have goosebumps. I'm honored to be your first reading, sir. And hopefully you're feeling him now. And that's not by chance. The reason you're feeling him now is because he's there with you and with me. So it's kind of cool how this works. Now he does make me feel like you guys spoke of cremation. So were we talking about cremating him?
We did.
He was
We
cremated,
did.
correct?
Yes, because he and I had talked about it previously, and we both agreed that's what we wanted. We didn't really need a gravestone or a cemetery or anything. We
No,
feel like
my ass everywhere, he says. Like, he's saying you spoke of cremation with me, right? And he says you did have me cremated. But he is talking about splitting some ashes. So we did split some ashes.
we're spreading him in all his favorite places. We're gonna
Like, I
do it again.
literally feel like you're throwing me everywhere. You're throwing me in all the cool places.
I have been.
Okay, but why do I feel like there's a mountain you have to fucking climb still?
There is.
Listen, that's not a request. Don't put that on your fucking agenda tomorrow, okay? Like, it's just a fact.
Okay.
There's still a mountain that we intend to put his ashes at. Not a problem that we haven't, okay? I don't want to put you in a place of like, oh my God, we have to do that, okay? So just so you,
Yeah.
but he says you still have a mountain to climb. He says you're out of shape for that. To put ashes. Oh my God, he's a smart ass. So there's that, ashes. And I don't want to leave that out. Listen, here's what I would do if I was you. Go to the bottom of that fucking mountain, find some young punk that's climbing that fucking mountain, hand him your son's ashes and go, hey bud, when you get to the top, could you fucking throw these things up there somewhere and take a picture and send it to me? That is how I would get him
Trust
down.
me, we'll be doing it on the mountain. It just won't happen until next June.
He says my dad is out of shape for that. And I'm putting an LOL. Okay, LOL. And it's okay if you don't do it ever. I promise. It's just intentions. It's things that he knows that he's aware of. You did put him in the ocean, he says.
Yes.
More than once.
We're about to do it again.
Because he showed me 2 trips.
Wow. Yeah.
He says, I'm not going to fucking miss it, Dad. Going to miss it. And you're going to surf?
Yeah, we all served.
He says, my dad surfs. Like, so were you surfing his ashes in?
No, we served afterwards.
Like,
at his
yes, like,
favorite-
my dad surfed when he'd spread my ashes is what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Shut up. Did you steal his board?
Yes.
He says, you stole my damn board. My dad surfed when he put my ashes in. Your son kicks ass. You stole my damn board. It's funny because he's like, my mom's like, I've never had a reading like this.
We have it. This is
Good connections
incredible.
with him.
Incredible.
Yeah, he says, Mom hasn't connected like this, but she's had some really good ones. So you must have had some great, honest experiences, right?
I have, but this one might take the cake.
That's how I roll. You know what? I'm bullshit. I was raised by a man's man. Like, I'm like, don't give me some stupid shit, some fluffy crap that anybody can say. Like, you got to give me shit that nobody, yes. Like, I have
Totally.
this. He says, you have had good experiences. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
Good experiences. Okay. Then he's taking me, are his ashes out that way?
Yes.
Like to
They're
your
in the-
right, out in another room?
They're in the, yes, they are to my right.
Now, he's not stuck in those ashes. He has actually nothing to do with them since he's in heaven. That's the damn car that his spirit was driving. Driver stepped out of the car. Now you have his damn car. You can cremate it, bury it, throw it in a million places. He doesn't give a shit. Damn thing's not going to run anymore. So, but he is telling you, I just said, where's your ashes, dude? And he's like, out there to their right. So he's answering me. Does that make sense? I don't want you to think that
Yep.
he says, my ashes are out to dad's right. He says, I love that you have them there. Okay, what's the dog? Is there a dog out there?
Oh my God. His ashes are literally next to our ashes of our two dogs.
Yeah,
They're
he says,
all together.
dog next to my ashes.
Two of his old dogs are there.
No, he's
And-
not. Actually, he says, the dog is next to my ashes. He says, I have the dogs and they're big dogs.
Yeah.
They are.
Big dogs. He says, I have them in heaven. Was one of them
Awesome.
having hip issues?
Yes.
Heaven. He says one of the dogs had hip issues.
Correct.
Dogs had hip issues. Yeah, because was he losing mobility?
Yes.
The dog, not your son, but he's saying the dog, like, and is it a male?
Yes.
Sorry, I just felt like I had a wiener. So but he's saying
Yes. It has a wiener, or it had a wiener.
we still get to keep those things in heaven, although we don't have to use them, right? But yeah, he says
Hopefully they get to.
in life, because I feel like you had to make decisions for him.
Yeah, we did. We let him go.
Decisions. He says, I have him in heaven.
Awesome.
Okay,
Who
was
else
he
is good?
sick and not able to eat?
Yes.
I just said, tell me what happened to your dogs, right? He says, I have him in heaven. Hold on, he talks a lot. Heaven. He says the other dog got sick.
Correct.
Sick, and I feel like his eating was challenged.
They both had that same kind of ending.
But Bo
Yeah.
especially. Yeah.
Had eating issues. He says they are perfect with me, Dad. With me, Dad. Okay, do you actually have two of his boards?
We've got like 10. But yes, we have, I think, I've got 2 of his. My daughter has a couple of his too.
You specifically have 2 of my boards, he's telling me. Whether he has
Yeah.
10 or 15, but he's saying you have 2 of my boards. And he's
I
telling
do.
me you can't really surf one of them.
That's correct. It's too friggin' short.
Shut up. I fucking love him. Surf one of them. Yeah, he says, you nosedive, he's telling me. Do you keep nosediving?
Yeah, just
we wake surfed. We had a Natik G23 wake surfing boat, so I know surfing a little bit. That's his blessing because that's all I got. I've never actually surfed on an ocean, but yeah, he says you nosedive the board.
correct. Again,
I feel like it's too much for you, Dad. Just fucking put his name on it and hang it on a wall. Is how I feel.
I'm giving it to his sister.
Shut up! I love it. But he's telling me it's too much for you, Dad. I love him. I'm putting an LOL. He's kidding, but I don't want to leave his sass out again. You know what I mean? So,
He's right.
yes. I would say that they're right 100% of the time. I might interpret him wrong though. So there is that. There's room for me to screw it up, but he's pretty vibrant. Okay.
He was.
Now,
He was.
No,
is.
he still is. Yep. So your son, there is nothing past tense about your son. The only thing that's past tense about him is his car. The driver of the car has never changed for one moment and never left your side. Grief is a terrible thing, so it's not uncommon for you not to feel him. But after today, things are going to be a little different. This is giving you the gift of knowing, not hoping that he's around. You're going to have the gift of knowing that he's around. Does that make things easy? No, you have a child in heaven. That is the hardest fucking path to walk in this universe. But if I can teach you that your son's at your side, cheering you on every step that you take, it makes life just a little bit easier. Okay, I can't fix you.
Nobody
but I'll
can.
try. No, I'll try to do the best that I can in patching one hole. Okay. Now he's making me feel like, so the girlfriend is okay, he's telling me. So she is okay, correct?
She's fine, yes.
And he says she stayed in touch as well.
We all stay very close. We're having them with us for Thanksgiving.
Stayed in touch. She's family. Yes. She's family. Okay. Okay, but is sister not living at home? He's taking
Just
sister.
moved.
He says, my sister moved away from home. Shut up. Moved away. He says, I'm so proud of her.
We are too.
She's a good kid.
She is.
So proud of her. Okay, was she talking about living with somebody else as well? Because I
Yes.
feel like she moved in with someone.
No. She's definitely got somebody she's talking about, but they haven't moved in again. And they haven't said anything to us about it yet.
No, but I feel like she's got a boyfriend, correct?
Oh, well, she won't say she does, but yes, she does.
We
He
call
says,
him
my
boyfriend.
She doesn't like to use the word boyfriend for some reason.
Well, her brother will. Let me just say, like, she's
Good.
like, my sister has a boyfriend, and he says they spoke of moving in together. Do you understand? Like, are they talking about getting serious?
I'd be psyched if they did.
She did say a while ago it had come up.
Yeah, like I feel like that's where they're at. They spoke of moving in together. Oh my God, I love him. And he says I like the guy.
He says what?
We all do. That's
He
good.
says I like the guy. I don't feel like your son really knew him well. Does that make sense?
Not super well because they didn't get a lot of time together.
Yeah, he says I didn't know him well, but I don't feel like I didn't get to meet him. So that's a blessing, right? He says I didn't know him well. Okay. Now he wasn't engaged himself, he makes me feel like, but I feel like they had talked about it.
You just nailed it.
He our last big conversation, like a week before he left, was that he was going to ask her to marry him.
Oh, I have goosebumps. Yeah, he says we did speak about it. And no babies for them yet, correct? So not that you don't have to be married technically to have a baby sometimes.
No, I gotcha. I'm good with that.
But he said, I just asked him, do you have any kids? Because I would love to acknowledge if he did, but he says we didn't have kids. Have kids together. Together. Okay. Mom, were you getting a tattoo for him?
Farah, you're
Good. Amazing.
amazing.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Is it right? Is it your right wrist?
Where's your
Camera's right there.
It's right there.
You
I
got
don't know if you can see it. It's right there.
It needs to be bigger because it's so small. No, I'm just kidding. I can't see it, but he's telling me it's your right, near your right wrist area. Mom has a tattoo. You guys, but is there 3 of them?
Yeah.
well, more than that.
Well, I got one, Dan got one, and our daughter, his sister, got one.
Sister, because he says 3 of them match, correct? Near your
Yes.
right wrist. Tattoos. Mom has it. He says 3 of them. But Dad, were you getting a second tattoo?
Was I?
Uh-huh.
Not yet. No,
He says you spoke of a second tattoo, he's telling me.
I did.
Dad spoke of, that's all right if you didn't get it yet, just a detail of a second tattoo. Okay, he had a tattoo, correct?
Yes.
Were we talking about matching one of his?
Well, his sister and he have matching tattoos.
Because he says I had a tattoo and somebody spoke of matching that was, so there's a matching one?
Yes.
Damn, he's good. of matching tattoos. Tattoos. Okay. He says, I love my sister so much. Now, he's the only son?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm like, dude, do you have any brothers we need to acknowledge? He's like, no. He's the one and only, huh?
Correct.
Only son. Okay. So I know we talked about New Zealand, but was there 2 stops on that trip? Like, was there another country almost that I was going to?
They stopped in Tahiti on the way.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
Tahiti.
On
That's
the way
another-
there, they had a stopover in Tahiti.
Tahiti is an island on the way.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what anything is because I suck at geographics. Sorry, but he showed me there was a second. Is that a second country?
Yes.
Sorry. God gave me all these abilities and no brains. So there's that. Sorry. I don't have room.
I think you're making a lot with it though.
Yes. He said there was a second stop on that trip, a different country. Okay. But short stop, correct?
Yes.
Tree, a short stop. Now I do feel like they are holding the people responsible that hit him. He does. So is their country cooperating? Because I actually feel like they are cooperating with holding them responsible.
They're trying, yes.
It's currently
Yeah,
like
to me, that's all we can hope for is, but because listen, I've done readings for like stuff that's happened in Mexico quite a bit where they're like, they won't even send the body home to the parents and they never get their child back or whatever. So the fact that like he's showing me that I do feel like they're genuinely, honestly trying to hold these people accountable only because it's coming from your son. So I believe him, but
I agree too. And we feel the same way. I just, we got to follow within their laws.
yeah, he says the country is trying to hold the driver responsible. Okay. Now he does make me feel like you did talk about going over there. So are you guys actually talking about taking a trip in honor of him?
we may have to because of this trial.
That's okay. And that's in the timing that he's bringing up, hey, they're holding him responsible. He says, you spoke of going over there to honor me.
Mhm.
I almost feel like, are you going to have to speak for him?
Yes.
Because that's where I'm like, what are we doing to honor you? And he says, they would speak for me. To honor me. Why do I feel like you already started writing? Dad, were you writing things down already?
We have to
Yes.
write an impact statement, and I just wrote mine last night.
Shut up. Yeah, he says, you will speak for me. You already started writing. I want you to know that your son is there supporting and really inspiring every word that you write. Already started writing. Okay. He says, I was there every word. Why is he throwing one away? Did you throw one away?
I don't know. Have you started writing yours?
I haven't started. Well, I have written one previously and I haven't written the new one yet. So maybe, I don't know. I haven't
That's
thrown
kind
one
of what
away.
I'm seeing. Are we kind of replacing that one? Or are we going to just start over again? Because he says you're throwing one out.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I haven't had time to really think through that yet. It's hard for me.
One out. I want to, yeah, like he says you started one that you're scrapping. One you are scrapping. I don't know how much Dad knows about this whole spirit thing and all of that. I want to inform you something, Dad. Your son is so amazingly beautiful that the day that he passed in New Zealand is the day that your son graduated to heaven. And he didn't live a boring life in life, and he wasn't going to go some boring freaking way to heaven. So he's got an epic fucking story to tell. Okay. As he writes his graduation day in heaven, years and years before we ever came into this body, in heaven, as he sat in heaven with his blueprint and wrote it, somebody wrote to meet him there that day. And the person that took his life that day is the one who wrote that very difficult karmic road in life to be the one that helped him to achieve his graduation day. So I can tell you that in heaven, your son holds no grudges. And I don't tell you that because I don't want you to be angry. You be whatever you want to be because you're a dad. But if you can take some of that anger and frustration and place it down and pick up your favorite memory of your son and put it back in your heart, and then revisit that impact statement, tell them how beautiful and amazing and perfect your son is. Tell them all of the best parts of him. You know what I mean? But don't worry about carrying or sharing anger as much. And if you want to share anger, by all means do. You're not doing it wrong. Okay. But he just makes me feel like dad doesn't understand how spirit works. So we're just a little bit of behind the scenes, right? But yeah, he says you were scrapping that one. You started when you were scrapping. He says, I'll help you, Dad. Okay, were we looking at getting a puppy?
Not that I know of.
But his girlfriend got a puppy.
Yeah, were you just seeing a puppy or something?
Were we? Oh, we were just with the puppy.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, 2 days ago. We had a puppy here.
That's why I asked, because he's showing me you were just with a puppy.
Yep.
Oh my God.
We were.
That
Wow.
He says, I was there with you.
Oh my God.
With you. It's bitey, he says. Was it chewy?
Teething.
Yeah, he says it's very bitey. Is that the girlfriend's puppy?
No, another friend.
That's not the girlfriend's puppy.
No, another friend.
Cool. For me, he's trying to acknowledge who that friend is. Does that make sense? So who is that friend tied to him somehow?
I mean, he's known her since she was young, but no, they're not too super close.
No, that's okay. But for me, he's acknowledging that moment, blah, blah, blah. And it is an acknowledgement to her, whoever she is. You know, that's why I asked. But he says, that's not my girlfriend's puppy, but I'm seeing a girl. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Friend's puppy. It is a girl. Okay. Now he's talking about living on his own as well. So he was living on his own?
Yes.
Like already. He was already moved out, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was long gone.
My own. Because he doesn't make me feel like he had a room at this house anymore.
I mean,
He has a room.
He has a room, but it wasn't something he used very often, correct?
Yeah. He's saying I didn't have a room at this house, really. House, really. Okay, but were you putting his hoodie in his room?
His hoodie?
In his room? I mean, I'm sure I did at some point. I've organized some of his stuff, and I'm wearing a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, but were you hanging up his clothes? Like, I feel like it. Because I feel like dad was like hanging up my clothes and he's showing me you putting a hoodie in there. So I wonder if there's a hoodie in his closet or something.
Oh yeah.
In my room. He said, you put my clothes in. So I kind of feel like I had moved out. It really wasn't my room anymore, but I feel like we've almost reset it up as his room. Does that make sense?
Yes. I put everything, collected everything, put it in his room, and then had his friends come over and take what they want. So we spread that love a little bit.
I'm so proud of you guys as parents for doing that, because not everybody can hand over the things that, you know, are so important to their hearts. But I love that you took into account that he's important to so many. So that's awesome. Yeah, but he says, you put my clothes back into my room. He says, you set up my room again.
Yeah.
Room again. But you're wearing his shirts though, he says.
Oh yeah.
Not my pants.
I wear a couple of them.
That is for sure, Fara.
He says, not my pants, Dad. He must be a different size.
He is. He's a lot taller.
Is he? Oh, I love it. You can him him, screw it. So, he's laughing when he says it. So there's that. Okay. What I'm seeing look like, were you guys putting out like crystal, like it almost looks like a salt lamp or something. Is there like a crystal thing that we put out?
Well, yeah, we put a lot out. We have a memorial for him on the ranch. And then we also, you know, his friends all collected like 400 jade and a big one.
Is some of them big?
We got one really big one, like 170 pounder.
Yeah, he's showing me a big like crystal or a big rock. Does that make sense?
Oh my God.
It's a huge jade that his friends collected for him.
That's crazy, Farah. We had, right after he passed, his friends brought, because he used to collect jade with all of them, and they brought this, Dan said, this giant rock. It's on
Big.
a coffee table. Yeah.
John,
massive.
you're gonna send me a picture later, right? He says, I
Yeah.
love it so much. Okay, is there a hole in the side of it?
Yeah, there are, but natural holes, not cut ones.
That's what I'm seeing. Like, I feel like there's holes or pockets in it. Does that make sense? It's not a
Yeah,
solid
it's not all smooth.
that. So it's not polished, right? Holes.
They wanted to bring it raw, and it sits right on our living room table.
I love him, you guys. He's so good at this. Like, even I'm going, holy shit, dude, you're awesome. He's working so hard for his dad right now. Yeah, he said there are holes or pockets in it. Yeah, not polished. But there's small pieces too, he's telling me. So you also have small pieces.
We literally, next to the coffee table with the giant stone, have a bowl full of small jade stones.
And
Yeah, you have
his
small
friends
pieces
and-
there too. And one's the wrong color, he's telling me. So
So we put like a piece of, I think it's like quartz in there, so it doesn't go with all the jade. It's not a piece of jade, it's a piece of quartz.
It might have been me, actually.
Aren't you glad you did? Aren't you glad somebody did? Listen, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just stuff Farah wouldn't know. And he's trying to let you emphatically know, Dad, all the way down to one of those damn little pieces not matching. He sees you. That is his point today, right? He says you have small pieces there too. One is the wrong color. I'm putting an LOL because he's laughing that the damn thing doesn't match, but he says, I'm glad it doesn't. So I can bring it up.
Yeah.
So I can bring it up. Dad, were you talking about writing a book?
No, nothing. I know. I haven't thought about it.
Well, why is he supposed to be writing about him?
I've written about him a lot because of some other work I do.
Okay, cool.
His
as long as you understand what he's talking about, he's showing me you writing about him, not just to him. Sometimes they'll show me like parents' journal to them, things like that. And he's like, no, my dad's writing about me. And he's telling me, he says, you tell some pretty big stories.
Like stories about what?
Of him.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys try skydiving?
Yes, I've done that, but he did paragliding with us in the mountain in Switzerland.
I'm flying in my vision. You and he did, correct?
Yeah, I think.
Again,
yes,
I didn't do this stuff in life, but yeah, he says you and I flew in the sky together.
Yeah, and his sister, I think, was with us.
Sky together. Why is he talking about doing a trick? Did we go to the side or something?
Yeah, we both did. We both did a flip.
He says we did a trick where we went over to the. Shut up.
That is crazy.
You guys, he's so good. You have no idea how good he is.
You were so good, Farah, too.
I see that you're recording this. Can I post this later?
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
Brush my hair, but oh well.
Do you guys care if I post this?
No, is this not normal to
No,
like, be able to get
he's
this?
just talking it. No. I mean, all my readings are like every reading I've ever done is word of mouth. I don't want to toot my own horn. So I'm blessed with every reading in the individual's way of coming through. But your son is really amazing at giving me these visuals and these memories. He's walking through these moments with me in my brain as if they're mine. So, I mean, literally, like, he's doing so good to give you these things. Yes, Dad, your son is epic at connecting, like epic.
Wow.
So
that gives me goosebumps.
So
yeah.
how are there messages or something or things that I can do to help feel him better?
Flipped over. Okay. I want you to start challenging him in your head. One of the things, like, I don't know if you've ever heard me speak on like a Helping Parents Heal thing or anything. Mom, are you part of Helping Parents Heal? Please tell me you guys are. Okay, cool. Dad, there's a dad's group. Don't be afraid of getting into it, right? Because there's some amazing men who have children in heaven as well. But I would say the best thing is to start challenging him in your head. Talk to your son in your mind, okay? When he's popping into your head, Dad, for whatever reason, when we see a bird or a butterfly or a whatever, and it takes our thoughts to him, that is you hearing your son. It's that subtle. You think you're just thinking of him. You're not. That's him saying, hey, Dad, I'm here.